Hi there folks, and welcome to the What Solutions for this week's The Daily Rigour, issue number 23. So our first headline is from the politics section. So 71.6 million watched the final Trump and Clinton debate on TV in the US. You might have caught some glimpses of it on YouTube as well. Very interesting. So the population of the US is 318.9 million. What percentage of Americans watched the final debate? Answers to one decimal place. So it's 71.6 out of a possible 318.9, so that means we do 71.6 divided by 318.9. We don't need to bother with the millions because they're both in millions, so we can actually just use the numbers at the front. It's the same ratio, and that makes it a decimal, so we change to a percentage by times and by 100. If we put all that into a calculator, we get an answer of 22.5% to one decimal place. Okay, on to transport now. So thousands applied for train driver jobs in Scotland. So 15,000 people have applied for 78 jobs. So if they're handing out jobs by pulling names at random out of a hat, of course they don't do that. There'll be an interview process. But assuming they did, what's the probability of someone being selected? So you've got each person has a 78 out of 15,000 chance. But it did ask us to give us a fraction in its simplest form. So what is the biggest number that we could divide 78 and 15,000 by? Of course we can half them. We can actually divide them by 3 as well, because the 7 and the 8 add up to 15, so you can divide 78 by 3. But the biggest number you can actually divide both of these numbers by is 6. So if we do that, we get 78 divided by 6, which is 13, and we do 15,000 divided by 6, which is 2,500. So you've got a 13 in 2,500 chance of being selected. I don't like those odds. Okay, so on to the money section. So we've talked in previous issues about the plastic £5 notes, and in last week's issue we talked about the plastic £10 note. Well, now we're being warned to check and see if we have any of these 50p coins lying about in our pockets or down the back of our sofas or whatever. So maybe you should have a look, because as you can see here, these 50p are worth an awful lot of money. So Max, the luckiest boy in the world, almost unbelievably, finds all 5 of these coins down the back of his sofa. So what's the maximum amount of money he can make from selling them? So obviously what we've got to do is we've got to add up the maximum value you can get from each coin. So in this case we would have to add up 200 plus 50 plus 3,000 plus 10 plus 20, and that gives us a maximum sale of £3,280 for all 5 of these coins. And if you want to get pedantic, you could have said it was £3,277.50 profit, obviously taking off the £2.50 the coins were actually worth, but 3,280 was the answer we were looking for. And then a tricky higher level maths question from in part B here. So the coins are all regular heptagons, so calculate the size of the interior angle marked here. Answers to one decimal place. So to work out the interior angle, you could split it up into 7 isosceles triangles and do it that way, but the most efficient way of doing it is to use the formula 180 minus 360 divided by n, where n is the number of sides. So in the case of a heptagon, there's going to be 7 sides, and if we process this calculation using BODMAS, but probably need to put it into a calculator, rounding to one decimal place, this would give us an answer of 128.6 degrees. And as we can see here, it's a wee bit more than a right angle, so the answer does make sense. Okay, on to our last story, from the business section. So serial returners cause problems for shops. So we've got a girl called Alex Dimitri who spends £700 on clothes each month, but she boasts that she returns half of what she buys, and shops are struggling to keep up with the demands here. So if Alex's claim is true, how much does she actually spend on clothes per year? Well, £700 a month would be 700 times 12, which is a total spend of £8,400 for the year, but she's returning half of it and getting a refund for half of it, so she's actually going to be spending a half of this money. So the amount she actually spends is £4,200 per year. I think maybe somebody should cut up her credit cards, because I think she's got a bit of a problem there. Anyway guys, that concludes our What Solutions for this week's The Daily Rigour, issue number 23. I hope you found that useful. Stay tuned next week, where we're going to be looking at more stories from the news and the numbers behind them. But in the meantime, thanks for watching, and bye for now.